Thanks so much for checking out my channel, guys. I really hope you love these tutorials I'm putting out for you because I'm really enjoying making them. If you do like them, please give me a thumbs up and also subscribe to this channel. That does a lot to help me be able to keep making these for you. We're going to jump right into this one. As always, let me know if you have any questions and let me know what you think. The purple spray paint we're using for this tumbler is lilac. It's a really light purple and we want to make sure that we get that true color. So we have a layer of white spray paint down first, let that dry, and then we got this lilac on next. Next up is preparing these stripes that we're going to do in the middle. It's one green stripe that we're going to use. I don't have the exact color green that I want to match the sticky sheet, so I'm going to cheat. I have this lime green luster metallic vinyl, and the glitter that I'm using is Twin Span Junior. I have double-sided sticky tape, and I'm going to go ahead and put that double-sided sticky tape down over this luster vinyl, and then we're going to trim it with our paper trimmer. We're going to get that piece we just cut and wrap it around the bottom of the tumbler. I'm starting just under the handle, so that nice bottom part will be a decent separation between the colors. Make sure you press that all the way in, trim the extra piece over, and then we'll start with our tack it. Okay, I actually have foiling glue right here. It's the same thing as tack it. I find that this foiling glue is a little stronger than tack it, but it works exactly the same. It goes on white, dries to a clear consistency, and then it becomes tacky when it does dry. You do not need this much foiling glue. I don't know what I was thinking. I obviously wasn't, because I really went for it and I put way too much. I do end up taking the lid off my foiling glue and just put the extra back in there, but just make sure it's all smoothed around your tumbler. The finer your paintbrush bristles are, the better finish you'll get whenever you do this tack it method. Just make sure you're wiping it all the way around, then take the extra, wipe it back into your little container or in a napkin, and then keep going. You can tell whenever this tack it starts to dry against your brush, because your brush will get a bit grabby, meaning that it's smooth when you're smoothing it on. You can feel your brush gliding, but it will really want to stick to certain parts once this starts to get on there. So it doesn't hurt to put a little extra of the foiling glue or tack it on there. Wipe that around, get rid of the extra, and then just keep smoothing it out. The glitter that we're using for this top is called Rachel Shebang. It has an like a super ultra fine glitter in here, and then something that's a little thicker. And guys, this color, oh my goodness, it's insane. It will change over different color bases. So if you put this over a black, I think you will almost pull like a green to blue in some areas. Over pure white, it's absolutely gorgeous. It gives off an opal. And then over this purple and a lot of other light colors, you'll just get a really light, almost pastel color if you choose a super light one. But like I said, super gorgeous. So get this all the way around the tumbler. Pay special attention to your handle. Make sure you're going on every side of your handle, upside down, sideways, inside out, everything that you need to make sure it's covered. I always like to tap the shaker onto the bottom of my tumbler to knock off all the extra, and then I keep everything that fell off and I put it right into my bucket. I also keep whatever falls off when I'm doing this little varnish it in thing. All we're doing is we're taking our finger and we're rubbing it alongside the tumbler to lay this glitter flat. You don't have to go super aggressive here. We're not trying to rub anything like off of the tumbler or rub too hard. We're just laying it down. So you can just use a couple fingers, keep going back and forth, go in all directions too, go up and down, then go sideways, around the rim. We're going to make sure we get really close up against that line at the bottom, and then we'll also take a paintbrush and work it into the creases really tight against the handle that may be a little tougher to reach. But keep going until all of that's smoothed in, and then take your paintbrush and also brush off anything extra that's laying around. I did end up taking this outside and I sprayed it with matte spray paint. I did matte because a lot of the times clear, if you use any glitter, it will want to stick to the clear gloss spray paint. So I did matte spray paint. I let it sit and dry, and then we're going to peel off that little cover piece from the tape, that double-sided sticky tape. We're going to drop on our yellow that is Twin Span Junior, and it's just going to give us a really pretty shade of green. Like I said, I picked this one because it matched the top of the tumbler, the little decal that we're going to use. It just matched so perfectly. So get this yellow all the way around here. We're going to use our paintbrush again, just a dry paintbrush, and brush off all that extra glitter. We don't want to go too aggressive on this part because we don't want the glitter to lay down on that yellow piece. We just want to make sure all that excess glitter is removed. The glitter that we're using for the bottom is a chunky mix glitter, and if you're familiar with chunkies, you know they can be a bit stubborn. So we're going to do this epoxy method. I have my glove finger. I work that all the way around the bottom, then I'm dropping this chunky on the bottom also. Take a little bit of parchment paper, we can press that down, and then also remove some of those chunks that may have fallen out of place. You can do that with a weeding pen or a knife and really get them to come off. We're taking the rest of this feed dry that we have mixed up and we're getting that all over the tumbler. The reason why I'm putting this on here right now is that the sticky sheet that we're using is going to be peekaboo and the seams are clear, so it's all going to blend in over a glossy surface. Since I sprayed that with matte, if I were to put it down, there's a chance the seams of that sticky sheet will look a little fuzzy, and I definitely don't want that. I want them to go blend perfectly in. So get all of that down, smooth it out, and let this set. This little sticky sheet is just so cute. So what I'm doing right here is I measured out about how many rows high it needs to be, and that was 3. And then I'm trimming off the edges so I don't have these little half donuts. And then you'll see me wrap this around to get an idea of where I want this to lay. And then I'm taking this to sections and I'm doing little strips at a time. It's easier to do those little strips, especially over clear, because the edges are going to blend in, and that way you don't have to worry about the bubbles underneath your tumbler or them coming out, you know, kind of silly or sideways. Also, the good thing is that for any of these pieces, this is really set where the bottom of this, it's the same pattern, and some of the guys at the top wouldn't have been seen. So I did take the design and kind of flipped it. That way you get to see a little of each little donut throughout the whole design. So place these one by one or in groups if you want, whatever works best for you, and get them on the tumbler. Get a nice smooth layer of epoxy on this. We want to make sure that it's smooth, especially where those seams are going to be, where we do our finishing tape and stripes around the bottom 2 colors. So if you do this and it does have any bumps, go ahead and sand that and then do another coat. As usual, I do not do the bottom of my tumbler, so I have my cup edging tool from Wicked Shimmer. I'm going to run this around the bottom, clean off those dots, and then use my acetone to remove any paint or extra dots that are left behind to give me a nice crisp bottom. We're going to go right over this with our yellow puff paint drip. This is a highlight yellow. Normally I like to put my decal on first, but to be honest with you guys, I wasn't sure if I was going to do a decal on with this. I was thinking I might not need one, and then when I saw all the extra space with the drip, I did decide to. So my preference would be decal first, then drip. That way the drip will play in and kind of cover up a bit of the decal, but this still ended up coming out pretty cute. So get this on there. We're going to go ahead and squeeze this out. I was running out, so a bit of an issue with me shaking it, trying to get more out. Get this on here. You're going to go fairly thick, tap it against your table, and that will get the drip to start running. The same way we do all of our drips is stop just shy of where you want that drip to go, because you are going to have to account for the drip traveling down your tumbler a bit more. While this is still wet, I go right on with my glitter and get that on there. That way I don't have to worry about adding that later. Let that sit and dry for a while. Mine is overnight, and then I will come back the next day and wipe off the glitter. I was sitting there staring at it, and then I forgot about the sprinkles and I started adding that on while forgetting to video the sprinkles for you guys. So I have these faux long sprinkles that I got from Mr. Nola's Glitter. It comes in assorted colors, but I just picked out the colors that I wanted. I went with purple, green, and orange, and I sprinkled those in when they were still wet. That way I could push them in just a little and really have them set inside of the puff paint and kind of sink in there a little more to make it easier when I go through with epoxy. This did sit overnight, so now I have a stiff paintbrush that I forgot Mod Podge in at one point, and I can't revive it. So it's pretty good because it is fairly rough, and I can scrape right along the edges of that puff paint and remove any glitter that may be slightly stuck to the tumbler. My epoxy was dry, so nothing is set in there. You know, it's not like completely set into there to the epoxy, but since the epoxy is, you know, that glossy finish, the glitter does want to stick. So you'll see me with my paintbrush going throughout the whole thing, just scraping off any loose glitter. For the pinstripe, I really do like the look of the layered pinstripe. I feel like it gives it a little more depth. So I went on with this black on the bottom, and then I did a purple on top. Off the top of my head, I can't think of the name of these two, but it is listed in the description, as well as posted with the photos of this when I showed the design on Sippy Couture Community and in Mr. Nola's Glitter's Facebook page. So go ahead and keep an eye out for there for those colors. Also, I forgot to video it, and I didn't do it in this step, but I did also do a stripe on the bottom of the tumbler to kind of end that design on the bottom. I felt like it looked a little unfinished with that chunky glitter just kind of ending against the stainless, so I did put a little strip right there to tie it all together, and I think it came out really nice. Next up with our decal, I like doing offsets for my decals because I feel like it makes that font stand out a lot better. However, when I went to go do the black against the tumbler, I noticed that the black didn't quite stand out, so I did silver. So it's silver, then black, then purple for this. And then a bit of finagling to get this on here. And the font that I used, I had these little spots that kind of made it look like horror type fonts, like little drips that came off of it. So I got to fight with those and put those on and replace the ones that are missing. And then for the word spooky, that inside was supposed to be black. So I went ahead and took the pieces that were sliced out and I filled in that with the vinyl. So like I said, a bit of work dancing around with this vinyl, but I like the way it came out. And hopefully the thought of this comes across, because I just think it's really funny, like a little play on like feed me donuts and tell me I'm pretty, except spooky. So I don't know, I love it. I hope y'all like this one because I was really excited to come up with this. This did end up getting 2 coats of epoxy. I put the first one on and then I realized that I forgot the stripes in the bottom, which is where I did the bottom stripe. Didn't film that, of course. And then I did the next coat of epoxy over that. After that second coat, like I said, I did 3. After that second coat, I went ahead and sanded everything to make sure everything was really smooth. That way that last coat could be a nice good one and seal everything in. And then the third coat was actually the final coat of epoxy. This is the end result, guys. Feed me donuts and tell me I'm spooky. I just love that. It just plays so fun. The donuts tutorial for the topper, that is in a previous video that was uploaded, so go ahead and check that out on the Sippy Couture channel. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and then please subscribe, and don't forget to follow me on TikTok, Facebook at Sippy Couture Community, Instagram, and Twitter. So thanks again, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all soon.